Hey, welcome back for the penultimate episode of Hunters of Calamity 2. I'm pretty excited to see what happens tonight and see if our group of hunters here can figure out how to get into the vault um, and find out what treasures and potential horrific dangers lurk inside. Um, so yeah, before we jump into all the action, though, I'm going to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about their character. We're going to start with Pat and Wesley. Tell us a little bit about you and your character.
Oh no, first. Hi, I'm Pat. I'm Tactric online on Twitch and on Twitter and other. I think that's the only places. I don't go anywhere else. Um, I am playing Wesley. That's who I'm playing. Wesley is the current leader of the cult of or the Church of the Sleeveless Way. Um, he is super good at turning people into ghosts and traveling through time, and all of those are things he intentionally helped people to accomplish. Um, yeah, and he's excited to find another vault.
Awesome. Next, we've got Alex. Tell us a little bit about Allison or Al and yourself.
Hi, watch as I figure out how to unmute myself again. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a digital artist who pops around and stuff. Currently, commissions are back open, wide open again and stuff because I did some really fun as heck art for our very own Lula May here, who is soon to be publishing out her own gaming system. It's got a noir detective feel to it, and it's so cool, guys. Y'all got to check it out when it comes out.
It's super awesome.
I'm so looking forward to when she decides to play to run a game with it, like a full game, because I know I'm going to ask you to. Yeah, so you can find. So I play Allison, who is a robot who thinks she was human once, who's got some memory issues, and generally just doesn't care. She cares, but most things that would bother most people don't bother her. But she really likes some of these people she's been hanging around with, and is definitely like bonded with like Lula May and MJ especially. Definitely like gives a shit about those two. And weirdly enough, Sleeve Saya gives a shit about Sleep Saya of all things. Yeah. That's she has a big sniper rifle, and she may have gotten some upgrades that y'all didn't know about.
I'm excited about those. It's going to be fun. All right, we'll hop on over to IC Historian. Tell us a little bit about you and Lula May.
Hi, friends. I'm IC Historian at IC Historian, all of the places on the internet where I feel like being found. I can't take a compliment to save my life, so all of my usual charm and wit has flown right out of my brain. I play Lula May Jessup, who is a 100% completely reformed gray market arms and weapon modification dealer who may or may not have just participated in the wanton murder of an extraplanar HR disaster. So there's like a lot going on for Lula May right now. And I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic. And last but not least, we've got Michael with Amanda.
You're
Tell us a little
Raven,
about...
but you're amazing at you need to do an interplanar HR disaster mug or sticker or something.
Oh my gosh, that would be... Okay. That gives me ideas. I'll work on that and the old noggin. But anyways, last but not least, Michael, tell us a little bit about Amanda and yourself.
Hello there, I'm Michael Wang. You can find me both on Twitter and Twitch under that handle. You give me a clip, I will give you a GIF. I will be playing Amanda Starr, that just had a mech singing along, placed it so everyone had an umbrella to go under the waterfall, and set up a shape charts that has it ready to go at a moment's notice.
All right. And a couple other things to note before we jump in. One, we don't have Zan with us tonight. Hopefully they'll be back next week, but definitely go check out his stuff over at Insanity TTRPG on Twitter. And then I believe it's insanitygaming.com is his website. He does a lot of really cool tabletop content and professional GMing and stuff like that. Very awesome person.
For once,
Go
he's
check him out.
not the cult leader.
I know, right? Also, we've got Nikki playing MJ, who should be joining us later. She just wasn't able to get in here at the moment. So hopefully, at least at some point, maybe around the break, but definitely we'll get her back in for some cool stuff too. And then another quick note. Because the donation rewards did change, you may have seen it on the introduction screen. Just a quick explanation of what these are. So advantage and disadvantage, just you pick a character or a player, or the GM if you want. And with that donation, their next roll has advantage or disadvantage, whichever one you choose. And then the asset and challenge goes to the cast for the asset or goes to the GM for the challenge. An asset, the crew, or the cast just collectively decides what they want that to be, something to help them throughout this session, a single-use item, or maybe an event that might happen that would help them, that fits in with the story. And then the challenge is I get to kind of up the difficulty on the session. So throw in an environmental hazard, or maybe the encounter is more difficult when they run into it, or a new puzzle or something pops up. Stuff like that. So you can kind of raise or lower the difficulty of the session. It's fun. So yeah, with all that, we can jump right in. Yeah, Michael, what's up?
For an asset, can it be used to stop something a player might do? No. What? Okay, thank you.
No worries. So, yeah, last session there was sort of a mini boss battle. It was pretty epic, fighting the sort of Dark Lyridium corrupted form of Timothy Racket. Wesley, true to form, summoned a similar to but legally distinct from Transformer with Lula May's lemonade truck. I think that we're calling Lemonade Prime now. It's currently, just sitting there by the waterfall where everybody is at the entrance to this vault. I'm gonna say probably back in truck form, but you can turn it back into a transformer.
Quick question: what level were we after last session?
Oh, that's a good question.
I thought we're all at 11.
I think you're at 11. Yeah.
I was at 9 last I checked. I gotta go and update a few things.
Yeah,
Ooh.
10's a big level, so definitely do that. Yeah, you should be a level. Excuse me, level 11. So yeah, the truck's probably in truck form, but Wesley, you can change it back with magic, whatever you want, really. Everybody got pretty beat up in that fight, but you did have enough time to sleep for 8 hours, which should regenerate 50% of your maximum HP. So for anybody that didn't go below 50% of their hit points, you should be at full health. Anybody that did, you should be close to full. And yeah, currently you're in front of this waterfall. Amanda's mech that she built has its hand sort of in the water stream, creating sort of an umbrella that you can walk through without getting wet. And behind it is a sort of amethyst-colored, granite-textured wall, similar to what you saw where you found the Dark Lyridium. And then Wesley, this looks even more familiar to you, because the way the wall looks, like the texture of the wall, the writing, the placement of the writing and everything looks pretty close to what you saw in the first vault. And I think MJ is I think MJ was the only one that knows how to read the writing, right?
I think one other person can, but they may not be here as well.
I Did I read the writing or no?
I
can't.
There was
I
2 people.
Yeah, I think it was Lula May and MJ at the last location that tried to decipher it, and you did decipher it together. So Lula May could take a crack at it.
All right. You know what Lula May could also do? Lula May could actually open roll 20 before the first time she has to roll dice for one time in her godforsaken life.
I'm gonna grab MJ's character sheet here and roll to assist.
Love
Since
that.
Nikki's not here.
I love a good old assist. I need all the help I can get.
I imagine while they're doing, like, Amanda is pulling out extra, like, wire and stuff to extend the range for when you can press the button.
What is this? What would this
so
roll be?
It's going to be a education roll, which MJ got a 17 to help you out, so that will assist you a bit. So an 18 with the assist, I'll call that a 20, and you're kind of able to get the gist of it, but you're not able to read specifics. So it's sort of like can't read that. Something about magic, blah blah blah. Strength won't help. Not sure what these other words are. It's a puzzle. It's kind of about what you get out of it.
So, as Lula May reads, the strength won't help, and I imagine it's like comical, like as Amanda is walking away with one end of the wire, Lula May starts at like the other end of the shape and starts like folding up the stuff, and then like gently sort of sets it aside and like doesn't even like really like make a thing out of it. She's just like, you know what, you win some, you lose some. We probably would have lost a lot. And she sort of like is looking around for like anything, and she's like, y'all, it's this not a test of strength. It is going to be a test of brains. So remember we talked about failure and what that means? It's our first attempt in learning, right? So I just wanted all to remember that session we did, that professional development seminar, as we're starting with this. And she's gonna look around for like what elements of the puzzle are like what she can see that might be part of this puzzle.
She's right. Last time we had to get through one of these walls, a dragon needed to vomit on you, and then you could just walk through.
At the mention of vomit, Lula May just sort of stops and turns and like just looks at Wesley, like not openly horrified, but that kind of horrified that people look when they're like trying not to let you know that they're horrified. And she goes, well, that is duly noted, Wes, and I appreciate you sharing your pertinent experience. And she looks like she's a teensy weensy woo-woo about to vomit.
Yeah, those dragons could kind of go through the walls too, so watch out. One might show up.
Good news. I got it out to past the waterfall, so when we set it up, we can be outside the cave this time.
Lula May is going to go back and just disconnect the wire that is connected to Amanda's button from the pile of explosives.
Okay.
Just
not
like in a jerky way, but in a sort of like, yep, weird. Nope. Not gonna do that.
Would you like to do that discreetly so that it's hidden, or are you doing it openly?
It's probably better openly.
Lula May has already said that it's a puzzle and that strength is not a thing. So Lula May is gonna like sort of like look up at Amanda like, now, darling, I know we all would like to blow things up, but that's not going to be appropriate right now. And she's gonna just like gently disconnect and be like, come on back here. We're gonna need you.
Fine, and wraps up the whole thing.
Allison's gonna go over and take a look at it.
All right.
Does anything on here look a bit like circuitry? Like it's something
on the wall?
Yeah.
Not really. Not really like circuitry. It's just the sort of granite textured wall. There is a spot where it does sort of transition over into the regular rock of the mountain. Not so much like a seam, but almost like the mountain grew over it. Whether or not that's actually what happened is another story, but that's kind of what the appearance is.
Allison's gonna pick a bit at the rock sort of thing to see, like, is it less of a case of the mountain grew over it, or did this thing suddenly occupy space within the mountain?
Okay. Let's do a sight roll.
Because I think it might be funny, like after they gotten up the shape charged, all wrapped up, they hand it over to MJ, like, maybe you'll have a better
15.
use of this.
Yeah, it's hard to say. You feel like either theory could be equally true. So you're not able to confirm it, but you also don't, find that your theories were wrong either.
Is anybody looking over at me currently?
I mean, I think like we're all kind of at the thing, like looking at the thing. So I'm not like staring at Al.
That's fine.
But if Al, like, all of a sudden,
Al's gonna feel real stupid if this doesn't work. Al's gonna put her hand to it, and she's just gonna try and do just a very directed yeet into it.
Okay.
Please look at my character sheet.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Is there there's a description for yeet, isn't there?
Well, I can tell you the description for yeet, but I've already put it in as one of my weapons for my spell slots.
Okay.
Okay. What does yeet do?
Yeet basically forces energy into a thing to push energy into an area.
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead and roll magic engineering.
Great. Alright. Sorry, my character sheet is... I am all over the place today. Oof.
Oh no!
Thank goodness nobody's looking at me.
So yeah, you try to yeet at this thing, and kind of that discussion we were having earlier about when you press energy at something and it can't penetrate it, it just comes straight back, and you just sort of like end up yeeting yourself in the opposite direction. Kind of fly through the air.
Like landed a tree.
Yeah, you look like you got force pushed, basically, to use a Star Wars term. Good news is you don't take any damage. It doesn't hurt you. It just looks really funny.
MJ?
Somewhere a Wilhelm scream plays, and you don't know where it comes from.
MJ, do you take the shape charge that Amanda gives you?
I guess so.
Little May said it would be a bad idea to solve this, so I'm figuring you know when to actually use this.
I missed that part.
The original plan Amanda had was to use some shape charges on the wall, and Lula May wisely, strongly discouraged that. And so now Amanda is offering the charge to MJ.
Okay. Yeah, she'll take it.
All right. So, we've had Al give directed energy a try. What else would you like to try?
Al says nothing as she comes back, by the way.
Lula May kind of gives like a little bit of side eye as like Al comes back into view and doesn't like just sort of like notes that has happened.
I imagine like would there be like pieces of a tree attached to Al as they came back in?
Oh no! All you saw, like there was no visible indications of what happened.
Thank you.
It just like all of a sudden you saw Al like just touching this thing. Next thing you know, Al's yeeted into the trees, and then just comes back saying nothing.
All right. The wall seems completely unaffected, by the way. No scratches, chips, nothing like that at all.
Luther May, is there a part of the wall that doesn't have writing on it?
Is there?
Yeah, there's some parts of the wall that don't have writing on it.
Lulamay's gonna kind of look like a little bit confused and be like, "Yeah, darling. I mean, there's spots here, but like we've agreed. It says right on here." And she's gonna point to the words, which is, "Strength is not gonna help us get into this wall, darling. It's not gonna be a thing that works. We're gonna need to solve this puzzle, and somewhat quickly, because who knows? I mean, I got a lot of angry paramours, darling. Who knows? Whichever one of them may have." Discovered some sort of astral plane or whatever.
Yeah, but MJ, you first.
What if they tried already to solve the puzzle?
That's pretty much just the blasting it with magic energy so far.
And what does it say?
The gist of it was that something about magic, strength won't help you, and it's a puzzle. Also a reminder, because I know some people might not have been here and may have forgotten, but last session as well, Amanda was able to use kinetic magic to kind of get like a sonar image of the surroundings. And there is a hallway on the other side of this wall. So you do know that there is empty space on the other side of this wall.
Oh shit! Why don't we just say teleport lad?
Do we want to?
It doesn't like being pushed.
Well, then, because the thing is, I'm thinking, like, the cave seems to have been growing around it. So if we use the points where there's...
Or it got teleported into the mountain.
Fine.
Can I read it again? Can I try looking at it again?
Roll education to see if you can translate it.
$27.
27. Yeah, you're able to read a little bit more of it this time around. And it does say that magic is the key. So that is a keyword that, no pun intended, a keyword that you missed the last time. So magic is the key.
Mind if I give it a try? Because I just remembered I had Mind Like a Trap.
That's
sure.
Which gives me a +3 to education rolls. Oh, right, sorry.
There's more, though. So magic is the key. And it says, where it says something about strength, it says strength is not the way to get through. Strength is basically just strength is not the way. And it says something about needing to be worthy and proving that with solving this puzzle.
Okay, go ahead, Al, and MJ's trying to figure this out.
Oh.
Al's not gonna like stop MJ or like get in their way particularly. More like leaning over MJ to take a look themselves, to possibly see if they've seen something like this or know something like this. And that's a +3 for education rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So 19.
19. Yeah.
It didn't add that automatically. Well, for mine, like a trap.
I just did. Yeah, I did add it. See
Okay.
the plus 3
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, I see it now. Okay.
Yeah, it did. So yeah, you're not able to find out anything new, but you are kind of able to confirm that is what it says.
And what's Wesley doing?
I'm just right here. Oh, I did say, I think you might have missed. Last vault that I found had a wall just like this. And the way that we just walked in through it, but first to get in, a dragon had to vomit purple stuff on you. But then you were able to just walk right in.
So can we take the purple rocks and actually, you know what, Wesley, could you stand by the spot that's empty of text?
Yeah, sure.
Does it change at all when he gets near it?
No.
If I
You eat a
do-
rock, Wesley?
let me before I eat a rock, let me try if I just start because like without teleporting, sometimes I'll just phase through things. If I kind of start vibrating like I'm about to phase through something, does the wall like resonate at all with that?
No. No. You do get the sense that like on mechanics wise, on a successful magic roll, that you could easily walk through it yourself. Using that, but the wall doesn't change.
Okay.
What's up, Michael?
I'm waiting, but like I had the idea. What if the whole things with the rocks was the preparing for this? How we all like to make them work, we have to funnel magic into it. What if we all that have magic abilities put our hands on the door and funnel some magic into it? Like, give on to it.
I don't know. I just tried doing my walking
I'm
through
pretty
thing.
sure it doesn't like that.
Well, again, not forceful, but give on to it. Because the thing with life magic is a lot of it focuses on giving your energy onto another to help it. So,
You mean
So
like
if-
how you suck all the life out of Ted's?
So can we reverse
Well,
it and shoot it into the wall?
maybe, but like,
Let's try it.
okay.
What is MJ trying?
To reverse the Ted magic sucker thing. And put instead of, you know how they-
I still have that crystal. That is
May I try before?
And I don't wanna get
with
blown
the
up.
door? This may not work, but I think like it may be on a less blowy up B side. Just
yeah, you could try that while I figure out how to reverse the flow.
okay.
All right.
The magic of it would be essentially like to give the door, try to give it life or energy, much like they do healing, to kind of like, not to actually destroy the wall and anything, but the idea is to share the energy with the door.
Okay. Go ahead and roll magic engineering. And while you're doing that, Wesley, are you giving that crystal to MJ to work on? Muted.
MJ, do you need the crystal with all of the what's his face juice in it, or do you?
Yeah, I want to try that.
Okay. Can you not try it? Can you not blow it up at least? Because I don't know that that'll help.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to blow it up.
All right. I will hand that to MJ, but then I am also gonna just try and walk through the wall.
Okay. So with a 38 for life magic from Amanda, the wall does glow briefly, and there's sort of an energy wave that comes off of it, and it actually heals all of you all back to max health. But the wall doesn't open or anything else like that. So it's useful,
Okay.
but
So
it
it's
doesn't
reflective
let you
of
in.
magic. So I wonder if we use that that sucky thing to suck energy from the door.
Hey, Raven,
Mm-hmm.
can I try yoink on it?
Remind me again of what yoink does
Yoink
exactly.
is the opposite of yeet.
No, he's gone. No.
Yes, you can absolutely try. Before you do, Wesley, you said you were going to walk through it, right?
Yeah, you said that the door didn't resonate when I tried to phase, but that I got the impression I could walk through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just roll magic engineering.
Maybe there's just a
real quick.
switch. Maybe I just press a switch and then we're done with this.
It's an easy
May
DC,
I-
so.
It's 36.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you walk through this, absolutely no problem whatsoever. You get on the other side, and it looks similar to what you experienced in the first vault. There's a hallway. There are torches that sort of start lighting up in this hallway, and rooms off of the hall. Though you do hear something that sounds somewhat concerning. The faint sound coming down this hall, off in the distance, of a turkey gobbling.
How many turkeys gobbling?
You're not sure. It's very faint. But I will
No.
leave you there.
No, it can't be.
Lula May.
So, you said magic is the key. Do I see anything that looks like a hole or a notch or like a depression in the rock or anything like that?
You do not. That's a great idea, but you don't see anything like that.
Who
Perhaps
else
it
ate
could be-
rocks?
Perhaps it
I
could
ate
be
rock.
revealed though. Lula May, Wesley. I think that's it
Wait,
for the
okay.
immediate future.
Lula May, can
Or
you try
immediate,
walking through?
past.
Can you roll? Can we roll with me for just 1 second here?
I'm sorry.
I'm no, not you, Nikki. I'm asking my fabulous, wonderful, lovely game master.
Okay.
I'm just wondering. So the last time when Lula May drank the rock juice before going to fight Tim,
hmm
she could see in this sort of in between plane.
Yeah.
Would that reasonably lead someone to consider that perhaps if there was something hidden, that consuming a little bit more of the rock juice might make it reveal sort of like if there is like a key, you know what I mean? Any sort of thing that's hidden from view.
Gotcha. That is a very good theory. That might work. I will just remind you that consuming Dark Lyridium has dangers that are not always foreseen. So there's a risk involved with doing it that way.
Okay.
But it absolutely could reveal something new. Before you
Okay.
do, though, Al, you wanted to try yoink on this door. Go ahead and roll magic engineering.
Yeah, how badly I injure myself.
$17.
I get to roll yoink now to see if yoink works.
No, this is just like you don't miss with it. It's a wall. So you don't have to like roll attack or anything like that. This is just to see how effective it is. And you definitely feel like you got some energy off of it. There's no visual change in the wall. But you feel like you got some energy and that like you just scooped up with a tiny little teaspoon what is like, a 500-gallon tank of energy. Is the impression that you get when you try this.
I could live off this.
Theoretically, yes.
There's no gestures or anything that she does with this. It's just like an act of thought. It's like, I
Okay.
am taking this. I am throwing this away.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay, so we'll get to Amanda in a sec, and also
Can-
LeMay. MJ, what did you want to try here?
She was going to try to put the crystal magic into the doorway.
Oh right. Are you reversing it or trying to?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's do magic engineering to reverse it first. So that it shoots out energy instead of sucks in energy. That's what you're going
26. Yes, 26.
for, right? Okay, that is successful. So you basically have like a magic energy cannon now that will just shoot out all that energy that you got from Ghost Tim.
Okay.
And you're wanting to do what with it?
To see if I need to if I shoot the door with it.
Gotcha. So, just as a reminder, Al has tried shooting energy at it and got launched backwards. Amanda has tried pouring life magic into it, and it sort of resonated out in a wave back.
Panda.
Okay. I missed that part with Amanda, I think. Or I was just
Okay.
coming in while it was happening.
No worries. No worries. So, just logicking it out, massive blast of energy at this wall, just in an undirected fashion, might cause it to come back at you, just as a word of caution.
Okay.
But I will say that what you did with the crystal there is definitely part of one possible solution. So you have a piece of the puzzle, but I would recommend not using it in that fashion.
Could we use it to suck more energy out of the puzzle?
Or can I take another one to make a reverse so I can still have my cannon?
Yeah, you can absolutely try to make another one.
Okay.
Al, if you want to weigh in on it, you know that will not, like, you'll be here for years trying to suck the energy out of this thing.
I was like, yeah, that's not a big enough battery.
So we need a bigger battery?
Possibly.
No, you need a battery the size of the sun. It's not gonna work.
While you're debating that, though, Lula May, did you want to try your crystal lemonade to see something?
So magic is the key to strength. Okay. So I don't know if the drinking of it's gonna work because, like, to above the table, my stats I don't think are high enough for that to be a guarantee. And that's
Yeah, it absolutely won't be a guarantee, but it could work.
right. So Wes was able to like waltz right through effectively. And we're finding that any energy that you put into it is reflected back. It doesn't go through.
Correct. Every time you've tried to direct energy just at the wall, it has bounced back.
So I'm wondering if Lula May does not consume crystal, but kind of like puts her hands on the wall and like concentrates real hard, if she will be able to use the energy of the wall like a key to open the door, metaphorically, for her to phase through like Wes does.
Okay. You can absolutely give that a try. You probably still have a little bit of magic left from your previous crystal lemonade drink. So you can absolutely try. It'll be a magic engineering roll to see if you can do that.
Okay.
The DC will be higher because you don't have a lot of magic going on. So it will be easier with more. But of course, there is risk involved with taking more. So
Okay. So
not trying
you know
to
what?
convince you, just laying out all the options there.
No,
I
I
have a
hear that.
question.
I feel like from like a time perspective, time is a factor. We don't want West to become Turkey.
Can Wes hear
We don't
us?
know that it's there.
No, he can't hear you all, and you
Okay.
can't hear him.
So I will take a vial because you know how last time I said that she had sort of had graduated vials of magic
Mhm.
juice. So she's gonna take she took like the smaller one for the Battle of Tim, and she's got
Yeah.
like a little bit more. Like it's not a lot. Like she does not want to go the way of Sassy Tad. So she's got like not. It wouldn't even be like a full gulp. It would be like a ladylike sip.
Okay.
And she's going to be like, you know what? Bottoms up, darlings. She's gonna like sort of clap MJ on the shoulder, and she's like, yours is probably gonna work. So all I ask is that you chip me out of this here rock and put me up someplace real nice at the compound. And she's gonna like drink the stuff.
All right.
And
So
that's just physical fortitude
it is indeed.
and discipline.
Yeah, discipline as well is probably a good idea. Physical fortitude is going to be the more important one.
Oh.
Ooh,
That was discipline.
okay.
Oh,
22.
22
okay.
on physical fortitude, the one I have like crappier stuff in.
Would you like to use a d6 on that? You currently have 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
roll.
Like you're not gonna die if you don't use one, but you are close enough to where. Oh no, that
Got me
didn't help a
over.
lot. Okay, so the d6 didn't really help you much, unfortunately. But
That's a
this is what happens. So you drink it, and you definitely feel a little funky. You feel a little tingly, probably slightly manic, which is where that discipline roll kicks in. Because now you are seeing. Does Lula Made Lemonade have like a little mascot type logo or anything, like a little dancing lemon or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean that would be what it would be. It would be like a little dancing lemon.
Okay. You now see that leaning next to the wall, about the size of a chihuahua. And it's just staring up at you. Expectantly, like what are you gonna do kind of expression on their face.
She kind of looks down at it and goes, "Oh shit."
It looks up at you and nods. It gives you this look like, oh shit is right. But it doesn't say anything.
She just kind of is gonna shrug and roll with it. And do I make it through the wall?
So here's what happens. Your intention is to make it through the wall, but as you're trying to use your magic, powered by this crystal lemonade, it doesn't really work the way that you were expecting it to. It doesn't let you phase through, but your vision is drawn to a spot, oddly enough, right next to where your little dancing lemonade friend is, that starts glowing really, really brightly. It looks kind of like a keyhole, roughly around the size and shape of that crystal that MJ has. It gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and you're blinded for a little bit. It's like a flashbang just went off in your face.
Yeah.
So you're probably not going to be able to see for a few minutes, but your physical fortitude roll was high enough that it won't be longer lasting than just a few minutes.
Okay. I think Lula May, with a little bit of that, like, she sort of is feeling what she imagines she observed Wesley experience in the first, like with the dire dogs. She's gonna like sort of like, MJ, come over here, MJ. And she's like, she clearly can't see, but like she intellectually knows she can't see, but she's like, she's zoned, right? It's like, you know, when
Yeah.
you've been on the prednisone for a while and you start to feel better, and then you're like, yes. It's kind of like that. So she's gonna be like, MJ, darling, right there. There's a keyhole. You can put the crystal in it, and after that, maybe we could run a mile. Hell, maybe we could run 2 miles. I bet you Wesley would run a mile. He strikes me as the type of man who knows how to run a mile. Al, have you ever
Are you
run a
okay?
mile? You know, darling, I don't know if I've ever felt better in my whole damn life. I mean, I don't think my eyes work. I mean, maybe not at all, maybe not for a long time. But I mean, you know, many people live visually
Did
impaired.
somebody give her the Hoffy?
It's time.
No.
We as a
I'm gonna look for the key or for what she was talking about while she goes on.
Yeah.
I was just
It
gonna
goes on like
listen.
a very long tangent about how like we need to like respect the autonomy of the visually impaired, and like it just like a lot of
Yeah.
like moments.
It probably takes you a few minutes to, given how quickly you're communicating, it takes you a few minutes to get that across. But eventually, Lulame and MJ, you're able to find that spot, and there's no visual indication of a hole there, but you'll find like when you go to put the crystal against it, that it just like slides right through the wall. So you are able to find that. Before we go further there, Amanda, did you have something that you wanted to do?
Yes, because I was expecting this to happen. Is that Amanda is going to use more focusing on a bit of the life magic, but using a little bit of the kinetic to blend them two together. I'm hitting like a couple of key points in Lulame's back, so that they feel really nice and calm. So like it's not as kind of like overly to the point where like they are in any overstimulated. It's more to kind of like bring them down and like a slow
Okay.
relax. Kind of like
Yeah.
when someone gives you a good like poke in the back and it all of a sudden sets your entire spine just right.
So Lulame, do you allow that, or are you like no, don't do that?
I think that Lulame is like a lot of people who feel this, right? Like I've been on the steroids for my bronchitis, and like, you know, now they're still there and the bronchitis is largely not. She's like, no, darling, I'm fine. I'm great. I mean, I feel more alive than I've ever felt in years. It's fine, sweetheart. Look, see, we didn't have to blow ourselves up. We didn't have to blow up this wall. And hopefully, Wes isn't somewhere in the middle of a bizarre sports arena being smashed on by a large green man who yells a lot.
Oh my god. Okay. So Lulame does not allow it. So you're not able
Allison's
to.
face at this
to do
point
it.
is the first time you've ever seen her have anything other than 2 lines. It's just a question mark.
I think you're muted there, Michael.
I figure because it's not being allowed, it's very much a case of where Amanda goes to kind of like poke and Lulame just moves out of the way and it keeps doing like that because she's trying to calm Lulame down, but because they're too hyper, like Amanda can't really do it unless they try to be harmful and they don't want to be harmful.
Gotcha.
So it's just
Cool.
very funny.
All right. All right. In that case, MJ, you and Lulame are able to get this crystal into place, and everything is set. Do you activate it to dump all that energy into the wall? Or into the keyhole, rather. Muted, I think. No, MJ's muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. You set that off, and it glows really bright, and you can all feel like these vibrations in the ground and in the wall. Wesley, even you can feel it behind you while you're worrying about that troubling turkey sound. And after probably about 10 to 15 seconds of that, the wall in front of you just slowly fades out of existence.
Out of curiosity, how much time would I have had to be worrying about those turkey sounds?
Oh, 60 to 120 seconds, 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. I might have had the patience to sit still for that.
Yeah, we'll say 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
A lot of that happened rapidly, so.
I
the
spent a
wall-
lot of time looking for switches, unsuccessfully.
Okay, yeah. There's nothing on the other side like that. There's just doors going into these other rooms, and then the noise coming faintly from the hall, way at the end of it. But yeah, the wall essentially dematerializes, and you're all able to join up with Wesley, and you can tell walking through that this wall was like several feet thick. So it would have been very, very difficult even without the other problems to mine through it.
Lula May is just like, MJ, you did it again. You know something? Well, the first day I met you, I said to myself, that there is someone who is just gonna go places and gonna solve problems. You know, I always said you're the best driver. You did the whole crystal thing. I mean, I don't know where we would be without you, MJ. And she's just sort of like almost not quite skipping, but like clearly crackling with unspent energy.
Wesley, where are we going next?
Now, Raven, when you said this place looked similar to the first vault I was in, hearing that turkey sound, is this the first vault I was in, or does it just look like? Did I somehow get back to the same one?
It is not the same vault, no.
Okay, I don't know where that turkey came from.
It's just like, oh yeah, this looks similar. Probably the same people that built the first one built this one.
Right. Well, so there's all these little rooms. They probably have decent stuff in there. I think like we found last time we got like some weapons made of bones, but then there were also some trap rooms. Like I think there were 2 alligators in one, and there was another that was like a bunch of gold coins on the ground. But if you touched a gold coin, it was actually a bug, and all the bugs tried to eat you or something. So I guess just check each room and take anything that's not nailed down, but also don't die.
So each person take a door and go through?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Can I roll the yoink off of Miss Crack Cocaine? Lemonade.
You're wanting to take in energy?
Some of that excess, because we need Lula May to be able to think right now.
Because Amanda gave
Lula
up time.
May has never felt better in her life. I do not know what you're talking
Right?
about.
You look like you're
prime operating condition.
You look great. You look like you're glowing. You look ready to tackle this vault.
Yeah, Wes, isn't that nice? It's been so long since anybody said anything like that to me. And she sort of is like just like looking around and like, like she's in that like I've been on steroids for like my bronchitis and I'm
I understand completely. I've been on them so many times.
Do y'all tell Wesley how you opened the door? Just out of curiosity.
There was a keyhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to put energy into that keyhole and only that keyhole.
MJ did it. It was great. I saw that.
Nice.
I saw my lemon friend. Probably going to want to talk about that after I have a nap. But
Lemon friend.
He drank more of that lemonade with the rocks in it.
That thing we did a couple years ago. It was one of those like problematunities without the tunity. So we did that, and then he was there, and that again after I have a nap, I get the feeling I'm gonna want a nap. So
I'm rolling to yoink now.
MJ, and she sort of is
Okay.
like as if they're best friends at the party. Like my friend MJ here. She fixed the door. Let us walk right in. Poor Al almost became a tree bop. I don't even know if that's like a thing that you can have. We almost
You're
had
able
one.
to siphon off a little bit of the magic energy. Not a whole lot though. Lula May, there's not much of an effect on you.
This train is on. This is a bullet train to who knows what the fuckville.
Amanda just
but-
walked to the third door and says, "Anyone going to join me, or shall I just enter in this one?"
All right,
Wesley
we'll
was
get
about
back
to kick
Amanda.
open another one.
We'll get back to that in a sec. Al, you do siphon off some of that energy, and because this is crystal energy, I'm gonna need a discipline roll.
Join the hallucinating team. It's great here.
A
25.
25. Okay. You get a brief glimpse of, I guess, who we're calling Levi the Lemon, tugging on Lula May's pant leg or the hem of her dress or whatever she's wearing.
You mean that lemon?
Lula May is gonna look back and be like, "Yup. You know, I'm treating this the way that my daddy treated my Uncle Jed's illegal steal in the backyard. Like we all knew it was there, and sometimes we took liberty and enjoyed the fruits of its presence, but it wasn't ever something any of us, we all didn't talk about it."
I just want to know how the fuck I'm hallucinating. I'm a robot.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't make logical sense, but it's happening. Because you roll 25, though, it fades after a few seconds. So you just see it for just a few seconds pretty clearly, and then it just fades away. All right. So with that, we've got Wesley wanting to try to kick in door number 1, and Amanda wanting to go in through door number 3. Let me describe the doors for you, because this may also, influence your decision.
If you have to.
Yeah, there's 6 doors, 3 on each side. The first door to the left looks like your standard Dungeons and Dragons style, castle dungeon wooden door with iron fixtures. The door to the right looks more like a solid slab of steel. It's a bit shiny, but not like super reflective. There's not really like a keyhole or a door handle or anything like that. It looks a bit odd, like it's just one giant slab of metal, but it's very clearly a door. Like you can see indications of where it would slide out of the way if you opened it. Door number, the second set of doors on the left-hand side. That one looks like it's made out of some sort of bone, or like leg bones. That kind of looks like, but they're very tightly woven together, so there's no space between them, and has some sort of like cement where the gaps would be. But yeah, it's made completely out of bone. On the right-hand side, looks very similar to the steel one, except it's gold. The third set of doors on the left-hand side, this one looks like glass almost, or some sort of crystal. You can't see through it. It's like frosted, so it's translucent but not transparent. But it definitely looks like some sort of glass or quartz or something like that. And then on the right hand side, that one's gonna look almost like steampunky. There's like or like a bank vault. There's gears and like a wheel that you would turn, and it just looks sort of bronze-ish. So those are the doors. So Wesley, you are if you're sticking with the same door, you're in front of the dungeon-looking door. And Amanda, you're in front of the steampunk-looking door.
Yeah, because it was 3 of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do that frosted glass door instead?
Sure.
That
So-
sounds fun.
So you're both at the end of the sets of doors. The gobbling sound is a little bit louder. So both of you give me a hearing check to see if you notice anything else. Because you're within range to hear things now. Yeah, you both also hear some clucking. Like a chicken. All right. So, they ordered the rubber chicken. I remember that.
That was my thought as well.
So, those two are at those doors. Lulame, Al, MJ, are you going with either of them, or are you hanging back?
So Lulame is like, she has a lot of energy, but like she's not like meant like decision making wise incapacitated necessarily. She's just like real hyped. And like part of her being real hyped is like she knows that like she's not what you would call, she's not a combat aficionado. So she is going to go and sort of listen at the gold door and see like what she can notice.
Amanda is clearly at the steampunk door, just like when they said, is anyone else coming with them? So they're waiting to see if anyone will.
Okay. So Lulame, if you go to the gold door, you know, like when you hit a metal pipe with another piece of metal, how it has that, you know, there's the clang, but then there's also like the vibration sound, just sort of like a very mild ringing tone.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like a faint version of that. So if you listen really hard right next to the door, it almost sounds like that little ringing vibration of metal noise.
So like something at some point had hit this door relatively recently.
Possibly.
Okay. She's gonna put her hand on it and see if either there's like a residual magic sort of situation or if it like feels any sort of like specific temperature.
It's not cold like you would expect, but it's not hot either. It's just slightly warm, and your hand feels a little tingly as you touch it, and you leave fingerprints on it, which tells you that, you know, there's no other fingerprints on the door, so clearly nobody's touched it since the last time it was cleaned.
Okay.
What about hopping over to Al and MJ? What did the two of you do?
Are there any
Sorry,
words
right,
on the
right as you're
wall?
taking a bite.
Dude, raise your fucking my burger because I thought I'd be burped.
Sorry.
Are there any words on the wall?
No, they're not. None of them have words.
Al actually has absolutely no interest in what's in the vault. Right now, she's like mostly making sure that Lulame isn't getting herself killed.
Okay.
Same with MJ.
Okay. So MJ, do you go to one of the doors, or do you just wait and watch and see what happens with the others?
Wait and watch, because usually somebody blows himself up or needs help.
That's a fair point. With that in mind, Al, do you go join Lulame at the gold door then?
Yup. And I give it a knock. The back of my knuckles.
All right. It makes the metallic sound that you would expect. And before we go to what the response is, I do want to hop up to Wesley and Amanda with their respective doors. So, Amanda, what do you do with your door?
When it's apparent that no one is going to go with Amanda, she opens it.
Okay. There is a big metal wheel on it. And so if you try to push it open, it doesn't budge. But there's a big metal wheel. Do you turn it?
Yeah, because no one said they were going to, and they all have their doors picked out. So she's going in her door then.
Okay. So as you grab this wheel and you turn it, your hands feel a little bit tingly, like almost like there's something running through the pipe, or the metal of this wheel, making it vibrate. So your hands feel a little bit tingly and it feels warm, but you're able to open it. And when you open the door, inside you can see there is a lot of steam, a lot of pipes running every which way, and it looks like there is something of interest on the far end of the room, but in the middle of it, there's this like almost like a moat, but it's boiling water. There are a series of like drawbridges that could get you across the room, and a series of wheels. So it looks like it's sort of a puzzle to try to get these bridges down to get across, is the intention of the room. With that in mind, let's hop over to Wesley. What do you do with your door?
Does this frosted glass have any kind of push or pull mechanisms on it?
Yeah, there's like a gold colored door handle. It's one of those like lever type rather than a round knob.
Yep. I open it on up.
As you try to open it, it doesn't really move. It seems like it's locked.
And I walk through.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll magic engineering.
I got my good magic engineering out of the way already, so now it's just gonna be bad all session.
Was that a 20?
Apparently, yeah. Oh, the 20 was for hearing. That was it.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to remember what I rolled last.
Gotcha. So the 38, yeah, you walk through it no problem. As a matter of fact, as you do it, whatever you did, it unlocks the door, so you can actually open it from the other side.
Nice.
And once you get through, the whole room looks like your stereotypical cliche version of heaven. There's like clouds for the floor, and it's bright and shiny inside. And this figure that looks like not like stereotypical angel, but like a biblical angel, so really freaky looking, floats down to you.
There's so many eyes.
Yeah, eyes and wings coming out of everywhere. And it's got like 6 arms. And it just looks at you for a moment with its many eyes and asks, "What is it you desire?" And that's where we're going to take a break. So, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Give everybody a chance to grab a drink, stretch your legs, all that good stuff. And we'll be back in 10 minutes. We'll find out what's up with this angel thing that Wesley's encountered. We'll see what Amanda has planned for the steam room, and what's going on with this gold door. So we will be right back in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. we're back. So when we left off, Amanda is in what looks like a puzzle room with steam pipes and valves and a literal boiling moat. Wesley has phased through a door into a room that looks like your stereotypical heaven with a very biblical description of what the angel looks like. So super freaky, and it has asked Wesley what he desires. And then we've got Lula May and Al at the gold door, who have knocked on it and are awaiting a reply. So Wesley, let's start with you. This angel looks at you and says, "What is it you desire?" What do you do?
Like, so do you mean like big picture? Do you mean like right now? Like, am I hungry? Are you like hosting something?
They just sort of look at you perplexed, which is impressive because they don't have like facial expressions, but somehow they convey that they are perplexed at your question, and they just repeat what they said. What is it you desire? Also, thank you so much to Michael for the $4 donation and Icy Historian for the 500 bits. I'm assuming with the bits you want D6s?
Oh yeah. I just
Awesome.
also like the narwhal emo.
It's cute. All right, so that's
Yeah,
5d6 now on the board.
Before Wesley answers, what kind of would it be any kind of check to try and like I'm trying to get a sense of is this some like powerful otherworldly thing, or is this just some like random blob that I guess I'm like a gut feeling for like what level of delivery this angel thing can provide on my requests.
Okay.
Like if
Go
it's
ahead and roll gut feeling, yeah.
Is this your traditional wheels within wheels and flaming eyeballs?
It's more just like a humanoid with wings coming out of everywhere and eyes all over the place and 6 arms. So gut feeling of 4 or 10 rather.
10.
Yeah, you got no clue.
And it was what do I desire was the question.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I get 3 of these wishes. I want. Let's just shoot high. I want enough power to be able to keep me and my people safe.
They sort of just tilt what you assume is their head to the side a little bit, and in a very ethereal kind of voice, just respond back that how would power keep you and the ones you care about safe? Would it not make you a bigger target?
Oh, I see. I don't know, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are already targeting us, and if nothing else is a deterrent, like the people that are after us are not stopping because we don't have enough power, if that makes sense.
I see. So that's what you desire?
Yes.
Okay. And you get the impression that, like, if this angel were a GM, what they're implying is, are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's how I wound up with the cult anyway, was trying to surround myself with enough powerful and influential people to keep myself safe from people coming after me.
and they just look at you for a moment, silently, and say, if power is what you seek, then power is what you will find. and then you find yourself on the other side of the door, back in the hallway, with it shut and locked.
Do I feel? I think I like poke myself. Do I like feel any different?
Nope. You do not.
Thanks, Angel.
Let's hop over to Amanda.
Are you sure you don't want to figure out what the other people's store they're going to go into first?
Well, I mean, I already know. If you would like,
Okay.
I can hop to the other group if you're not ready.
No,
for the...
I'm good. I just wanted to make sure Nikki and all of them had a chance to see what's inside their door first, because it seemed more fair that route to them to see what's inside their vault first.
Oh, this is all going to be happening at the same time. So the in-game, this will all be occurring at the same time. So it won't be a matter of first or second. And yes, Meeble, very perceptive. Meeble in chat. So Amanda, you see this room. There is a giant moat in the middle of the room. It's boiling water. There are a series of drawbridges which seem to have some sort of mechanism to lower them to let you get across. And there are a bunch of smaller wheels and levers along the walls on the side that you're on.
The first thing Amanda will do, because I feel if they don't do something, this is going to be a timed event where they have to get through it real fast, and that's not going to end well. So the first thing we'll do is to rather focus themselves in their own energy, their own chi, before essentially doing like airbender of just moving their arms around so they can actually have any steam that is around them to work as like almost a bubble so that they are safe while they try to figure out what's in this puzzle, so that they don't have to worry about dying just by the heat because they've made a bubble where they are safe.
Okay. You're able to do so. The room doesn't get any warmer though.
Yes, but it's more the not dying thing up by the steam. So as doing that, kind of like they are probably allowing them to kind of like see where the steam is coming from, as they are trying to focus the energy around them to see which pipes they are coming from as they're moving forward, I would assume, till they get to the first point where the actual bridge, I think, is like only halfway up, right? Like I have to have
no.
a layer or something to bring it down, right?
They are none of the drawbridges are down. You can see that they are there. A couple of them are on the opposite side, standing straight up. So you'd need some way to lower it. And then there's a middle one that's like basically like a long plank sort of a thing that's hanging in the air that has a mechanism that will lower it in place.
Then here's at least, and I can see if you don't think this is okay. Like I feel like what Amanda will do is then to try to actually have bend the steam so we can get on as many levers and stuff, and it's just allow them to kind of like, as they are controlling the steam, just go move them back and forth in all these combinations while they are just kind of like stable, so they can see what the levers are doing and such.
Gotcha. I don't know that you'd really be able to control the steam. You don't have water bending magic powers. You've got kinetic and life.
No, like again, like that's the idea, is using their own kinetic energy, their own chi, to kind of like hopefully extend that out so that they can control of the steam. That's more what they are doing rather than controlling the steam itself. So
I will give you this. You can push energy at the steam, but you can't control your energy in the way that you're describing in order to control the steam around you.
Then the only other thing like I can think to is essentially use an engineering mechanical role to see kind of like what would be the path of all the pipes and see how this works
Awesome.
and try to get it to work.
Yeah, do a mechanical engineering roll. Nat 20. Fantastic. So with a 48, yeah, you're able to figure out, let's say the middle bridge. You can see where the steam's flowing and what valves you would need to manipulate in order to control it. And assuming that you go over to them and do so, you're quickly able to figure out which ones lower it, which ones raise it, which ones rotate it around. And if you would like, you are able to lower it into place so that you can cross this boiling water moat.
Yes, that's what they would like to do, is to get to the center for either a fight or an object.
Okay. Sorry, I just saw in chat that you were thinking about placing a drink food order with the angel. That's amazing. All right, so Amanda, you're able to cross the bridge without any issue. It's definitely warm as you walk over, but you're protected from the boiling water underneath. And you get to the interesting looking thing at the other side of the room. And now that you're closer, you can see what it is. And much like Wesley had somebody asking the question, what is it that you desire? You find a book, and the cover says, "Read me." Do you do so? Muted.
Yes, I said sobbingly because I have a poor education stat.
Oh no, that's okay. You don't have to roll education. The very first page says to think about what it is that you want while you read this book.
The ability for a fish to defeat a dragon.
Okay. And as... Oh, go ahead.
So just for it to make context, that supposedly was what was in the cave. And that's something that Maggie had learned, that supposedly the man or the person that smelled of sunflower gained and destroyed their order for, is this technique of how a fish can defeat a dragon. And it's suggested a whole lot that it's very much a technique that maybe that's why the person of the sunflower destroyed everyone, because, and possibly the technique itself is so that it's the one thing that might actually defeat them. And why drowning Maggie or drowsy Maggie is thought to be crazy is because they learned about it and left the order to kind of like find their own place.
Okay. So, as you read through the book, you're flipping through the pages. You don't find what you're expecting to find with that. It basically just tells you. I wish I could remember the quote verbatim, but there's a Bruce Lee quote where it says to be like water. How water can flow,
I may
or
know
it can
this.
crash.
It can go forward, it can crash. It is always a force, but always changing to allow for the flow of nature. I think that's the full quote, isn't it?
It's close, yeah. It goes on to talk about how it, like if you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. How it's formless, and to be like water, and that's the gist of what you read. And you definitely get the impression that this was like the response to what you were wanting. Though it's not like a kata or a fighting technique or anything like what you were probably expecting. But with that, you're able to leave the room without any
It's a
issues.
philosophy of life.
Yeah. So with that, we'll hop over to Al and Lula May at the gold door.
Lula May is gonna look for a mechanism to open the door.
I just knocked on it, so.
Yeah, you look around for a mechanism, but as you're looking, you don't really find anything, but there is a response to the knock. There is a deep voice, think like James Earl Jones sounding voice, that just says, "What do you want?"
Deep like this?
Sort of.
She's gonna kind of be like, like, is this like the big "what do you want" question, or is this the like "let me into the room, what do you want" question?
It seems like more of the like the who's there type of "what do you want?"
She's gonna like put on her best like nice lady voice, be like, "Oh, hello, my name is Lula May Jessup, and well, this is a bit, I suppose, unorthodox, but my robotic friend here and I were just wondering if we could come in for a chat, please."
There's an uncomfortable pause. And then the door starts to vibrate more. And it lifts up, opening. And that same voice just says, "You may enter."
So Lula May takes like a very like a tentative.
Al's looking to Lula May, is just like, are we doing this?
Lula May takes like a tentative step in, the way that you would if you were like politely entering someone else's space, like not like she owns the joint, but very much like, okay, clearly this is not mine, and I have been allowed in. I'm going to be very nice about it. And she kind of like stands just on the inside of the door and looks around.
Al's gonna walk right in like it's any other place that she's been in, aka she don't give a fuck.
Okay. As Al waltzes in and Lula May carefully peeks in, you can see that the room is made up of many smaller rooms. There's like 2 stories in this room. It is sort of open so that you can see like all of the different doors from where you are. But each room has a little symbol or a sign or a picture either on the door or above it or right next to it. And it's a lot of different things. One of them just says straight up loot. Another one has like gold coins. One has a bunch of books. One has a picture of plants. Another one has a picture of guns and weapons. I'm trying to think what else is in there. One of them has a picture of like, like the old cheesy comic book spy icons where it's like a shadowy figure with a cloak and a dagger. One has like that kind of a symbol on it. One has a universal symbol for lust of any orientation or variety. And one has a question mark on it. There's probably a few more, but that's like the ones that at least stand out.
Lula May's gonna tentatively like walk up to the one that's books, and her kind of rationale is that she doesn't entirely like trust this place, and so she thinks that like the ones that are targeted toward like being super greedy like it's a trap. Like she's concerned that it's a trap. So she is gonna go up to the one that has like the books and the knowledge because she figures like she's not like super brawny, but
Mhm.
she could probably engineer using some knowledge that she may gain a way to get everybody through this safely.
Okay. That's a good line of thinking there. Do you go through the door?
She's gonna kind of like is there like a handle on the door?
Yeah, they look like your your standard like inside of the house type doors, like a bedroom door.
Okay. She's gonna touch the door handle and see.
Hey, wait. Where's the voice person thing?
And there's nobody in here that you can see.
Hey, voice.
Yes.
Sweet. So what do these rooms mean?
You'll have to enter one to find out.
See,
Which one
I
are
got
you
no
most
problem.
drawn to?
None of these are interesting me, but it's for her.
Lula May kind of like looks around and like waves a little bit as if to like she's
Like-
she's still like trying to be like polite and like nice about this whole thing because
I got no interest in the things that are in here.
Yeah, the voice. With that, the voice just says, "There is the door you entered from."
So has Lula May have the other people entered the doors at this point?
Yeah, this is all happening at the same time. And sorry, Pat just posted the greatest thing in chat: Calamity Vaults, the physical manifestation of BuzzFeed quizzes.
So I think that like that's pretty great. So I think that Lula May will kind of look back at Al and seeing the doors with like all of the things that have been Lula May's like different foci throughout her life of like learning and like weaponry and whatever, she's gonna be like, you know what, Al, I think there might be a room here that's kind of targeted at each of us. I don't know. There's some sort of other natural sense I'm getting that might be like the layout of this. Like it's.
I
big
got one
puzzle.
thing I want, and this place isn't gonna get it for me.
She kind of like pauses and she kind of nods and she's gonna be like, "Well, I'm gonna hang out in here for a minute. I don't know.
Great.
There's a couple other doors.
I'm gonna make sure you don't die.
She's gonna like,
like
open
you.
the door to the knowledge one.
Okay.
Al's gonna go with Lula May because Al likes Lula May.
Okay. I'm assuming Lula May enters first, right?
Yeah, like still being wary. She's like looking around
Yeah.
and making sure that it's not like, you know.
Gotcha.
Well.
As you step through the door, it's basically pitch black when you step inside. The best description I can think of is if you've seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the old Gene Wilder one, the scene where they're going through the tunnel and there's like images and things being like projected at the darkness.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, like a movie almost. It's definitely eerie, but you get to see this vault being constructed by whatever group or race or species that came before. It's a little bit of both theories that Al had. Al, unfortunately, is not able to see this, by the way. But it is a combination of the theories that Al had. It was teleported up on top of the mountain, and then they somehow moved the rock to grow around it to keep it hidden. And you get the sense that there's way more information here than you can retain. So you're probably losing a lot of the information just by nature of, fire hose and you've got like a water bottle's, opening for the water to go into.
Yeah.
So you definitely get that sense. But you can tell that it was teleported here, and then the rock grew around it. That it was definitely built to test people. You can't tell the exact nature of all the puzzles, but you can see that a lot of them are put in, and a lot of them are ways to figure out what people are here for, and test them according to what they're here for.
Okay.
So you do get that knowledge.
Okay.
And you get the sense that you're probably going to have some sort of knowledge-based challenge ahead because you chose this room.
Okay, so Lula May kind of nods and like she's like, so I imagine that she's like in that stage of like her sort of come down where she's actually just like really focused, like when the doctor gets like the med adjustment rate like really spot on, you know. And so she's kind of like taking it all in, and she's like thinking about her like compatriots and everything that they want, and she's like gonna turn to Al, and she's gonna say like, come on honey, we gotta go open that last door.
Oh,
Okay.
So she's gonna like sort of like
Al's just been walking down this empty corridor with
yeah,
you.
she's gonna kind of like before she leaves the knowledge room, like does it end?
Yeah. I was gonna say once it's done, you'll end up on the other side of back in the original hallway on the other side of the closed gold door, and then Al, as you go to exit the room, you just basically walk back into the room full of smaller rooms. Like without turning around, you kept walking straight ahead, but now you're walking out the way you came in.
Yeah, Lula May is gonna like kind of look around and like
I kind of get
thank
the
you.
feeling that things are weird in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Al, you're in this room alone now.
Right.
All of the doors I mentioned before are still there. The the door with the question mark does have a light on it now, sort of highlighting it. But the voice also did make it clear that you can just exit without choosing any door.
What's behind that door?
Excuse me. When you ask that, the voice makes sort of like a noise, like pondering type of sound. And it just says, that door contains mysteries. And mysteries contain answers.
You're some kind of bullshit, you know that, right? As Al goes through the mystery door.
Okay. You probably hear the tail end of like, I'm not mystery, I'm made of, and like the start of some element name, but you go through the door before he finishes. As you go through the door, you see your sister. And you ask
As I remember her, or as she is now?
as she is now, with recognition.
Holy fucking shit. I'm trying to get to my sister.
Okay. She's at the other end of the room, and as you get there, she just asks you, why can't you remember me?
I don't know. I want to. I need to. I need to find you.
And she just sort of has a sad smile on her face and says, as soon as you... Excuse me. As soon as you learn why you can't remember, then you'll remember. And with that, you show up on the other end of the gold door with sort of... it's not exactly the same sense of remembrance that you had just a moment ago. It's like on the tip of your tongue. You can almost remember who your sister is, but not quite. But you know that the person who you like, who actually is your sister, can help you find the answer, and you should spend more time with them.
Al comes out and says nothing.
Okay.
But in a very different way than how she normally says nothing. Al seems disturbed and saying nothing.
Lula May kind of takes a long look at Al and figures that Al will share when Al is ready. And she kind of like puts her arm around, like, kind of like not like invading personal space at all, but kind of like, come on. And like heads down to see if MJ is going to need anything or anything.
Care if it says it's made out of some weird ass element, it's still all bullshit.
Okay.
She just kind of smile at Al and nod, like, yep, of course. And keep going to see if MJ is going to need anything.
All right. Speaking of MJ, as we hop back to her, you've seen all of your friends go through these doors and come back out very shortly afterwards. Amanda and Al take a little bit longer to come out, but it's still roughly the same amount of time for everybody, give or take a couple minutes.
Are you okay with a slight alteration that Amanda is last out?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. There is still the dungeon door, looking door, the steel door, and the bone door left unopened. What do you do as your friends one by one start showing back up?
Everyone else have? Can I try steel door?
Sure. It looks a lot like the gold one. There's no noticeable handle or mechanism or anything like that. You can see that this one looks like it does slide to the left.
Try that.
Okay. Do you just try to like put your palms on it and try to slide it?
Are there like finger places or anything?
There are not.
Then yes.
Okay. As you do try to do that, there's a squeaking sound, much like when you try to put your hand down while you're going down a metal slide as a kid. As your hands just sort of slide across it, leaving a smear of footprint or fingerprints. And on the other end, you hear what sounds like an old man say, "Hey, I just cleaned that. What are you doing?"
I see. I don't have any sleeve, so I can't wipe it off with my sleeve.
It's true.
whatever. I probably have a long shirt or something. So I'm like, wipe his head. I got it. Don't worry about it.
You do a passable job of cleaning it. It's definitely not as shiny as it was, but you get the majority of the smudges off of it. And the voice just says, "Well, what do you want?"
So see what's here.
Oh, you want to see what's here?
Yeah, that's why I opened the door.
All right. Well, let me get that for you. And the door just slides to the left. And inside, it looks like the inside of an old cabin out in the woods. What you'd expect to see, log walls and various knickknacks and things like that on the mantle, and there's just an old man. Looks like he's probably 100, human, just sitting in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth. Very small, sort of weak-looking frame, and he just looks up at you and says, "All right, well, now you've seen."
Does it look like he got up to open the door?
It does not. Nor does it look like he would be physically capable of moving a door that heavy.
How did you open the door without getting up?
He just sort of smiles at you for a moment and says, "Well, I'll tell you what. You can ask me one question, and I will give you an answer. So are you sure that's what you want your question to be?"
No. Is there anything that stands out if I look around?
Not particularly. It just looks like a cabin. It's just one room, really. Looks like a living room. There's probably some sort of fur-type rug in front of the fireplace, a coffee table, a little side table next to the rocking chair. There's no windows or anything like that you can see. It's lit by candlelight and the fire in the fireplace. There's lots of little knickknacks, but they're nothing that stands out.
You said one question. Any question.
And he sort of just gives you
No,
like
I'm
a
not,
sly,
I'm not
slice.
asking that as a question. I'm just saying as a statement. There's no question mark at the end of that.
Yeah, he kind of gives you a sly smile and says, "Technically, that's a question, but I'll let it slide. Yes, you get one question, and I will give you an answer."
Okay, I'm going to pace a little as I think about which question, because this is a big thing, you get one question. This is hard. And is there like any kind of weird, I mean, it's a weird situation, obviously, but can MJ sense any kind of weirdness or anything?
I mean, the whole situation is very bizarre. You're inside of a mountain
Okay.
with a steel door, and now you're inside of a log cabin with this old man. But aside from that, no.
Okay. Oh, it's hard. And the door's closed back.
No, it's still open behind you.
Can I see everyone in the hallway?
Not really. Just because of the angle,
Okay.
not because they're hidden.
Okay.
Like if you poked your head back out, you'd see them.
Okay. Because she's gonna ask. Okay, this is a hard thing. I don't want to mess it up.
He just sort of looks at you and goes, well, careful consideration of what you ask and say is a good thing.
It is because I only have one question. This is a nice place, isn't it? Oh no, I didn't mean that. Can I take that back?
He just sort of laughs
Oh
and
my
goes,
gosh.
all right, that's 2 strikes. What's your real question?
How can we make sure everyone gets out of here alive?
He just sort of considers your question for a moment and then smiles and just says, well, if you want to ensure all of you leave here alive, then, well, the door is right there, and he points at the direction of the opening into the vault. You all leave now, unless one of you has a sudden medical condition that we're not aware of, you should be fine. But if you're asking how can you ensure that you all get through the vault and survive, that's a question that doesn't really have an answer.
Well, what's your question for me?
Oh, I've already learned everything I need to know.
No, you get one question.
He smiles and says, very well, then why do you care?
Because I've made some friends and I want to make sure that we can all stay friends and not die and live alone in the middle of the desert somewhere.
Friendship, okay. Very interesting. Well, I'm sure we'll...
You should try it.
Oh, I've got plenty of friends. You just can't see them. I'm sure we'll talk again later, in one way or another. And he just sort of waves his hand, and you find yourself back in the hallway on the other side of the steel door with it closed.
Well, I didn't learn anything.
Lula May looks kind of like concerned and a little bit like agitated, and she's kind of looks at everybody. Obviously, Amanda's I guess not here yet, and she says, we're being tested.
Like by life?
For what?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one of us is going to have to pull a shotgun out of a block of iron, and that way we get to be the CEO of Danco. I'm not sure, but somewhere in here,
Wait, is that how they award it now?
Look, all right, corporate nepotism being what it is, it's probably a slightly more efficient and more, economically savvy decision. But I guess what I'm just... it knows that we're here and it knows that we're us.
So we should try the other doors and Get this done.
I think that's the only way we're gonna get anywhere. Lula May's gonna like try the bone door. That's the only one we haven't got into yet.
Okay. Yeah, you it opens right up, and you're able to walk inside, and the room seems empty. Just like a
Can
stone
I
wall,
go?
stone floor, stone ceiling. And
Can I
it
go in with
seems
her?
empty. Yep, it also seems empty to you. Pat, you had a question?
Right. Now that I'm trying to remember picturing this when we came in. So is it that there's a hallway and there's 6 doors and it continues on? Or are we
Yes.
just at okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that at the end of the 6 doors, the 6 rooms is more hallway that goes on into the structure.
So Lula May is gonna look around the empty room and say, "Well, I guess our architecturally inclined friend has told us all they feel like telling us today.
Okay, do y'all remember like those old magazines that tell you like what your dating type was? I feel like I'm stuck in one of those. I just made the first choice, but I didn't actually get told what the first choice even means.
Right. Was there a like after you answered the first thing, was there like a flip to page 52 for your next question?
That's what it's
You get
feeling
more than
like.
one question.
Oh,
Well, our guy didn't care if we asked him questions.
did
I
you
had
all
one
get more?
question.
Did you all get more than one wish? Because I only got one wish, and I don't think the
Wait, you
angel
got a
delivered.
wish?
You got a wish? I want a wish.
I mean, they didn't do it. They
I
just
got a
asked it.
slideshow. I got
I
like
don't
an
know what the fuck I got.
I feel
I got a feeling.
the
I got
slideshow
a
feels
hunch.
appropriate.
I mean,
Fuck.
I watched the whole promotional video of them building this vault.
I got a hunch.
I got told if we want to like definitely not die, we can go.
I imagine at this point you hear Amanda starting to sing the song Sanctuary by the Cult. And just like the last little bit lyrics, they're seeing very Drower as, yeah, and the world turns, and the world turns, and the world would drag me down. Just they are singing that as they enter in.
Okay.
Lula May
Right,
is
so what bullshit answer did you get?
There is no answer.
Alright.
I mean, you did get
That
the
makes
answer to be
just as
like
much
water.
sense of anything else.
Lula May's gonna like look around the empty room and sort of like look up at like at the ceiling the way that people do and be like, I mean, look, we're not like trying to like, harsh on your parade here, but I'll tell you something. You got a heck of a lot of people looking for this place that are a heck of a lot worse than us. So, I mean, just throwing that out there. And she's gonna kind of like walk back into the hallway.
Okay.
Amanda is walking forward, straight towards that. I think you said that there was a vault at the end of the hallway. Like Amanda's just walking towards that.
It's it's just stairs that go down into more hallway, but the assumption is yes that there is a vault at somewhere at the end of this hallway.
Like, there's definitely a bird down there you don't want to meet on your own.
Then
I
we
mean,
shall
yeah,
meet.
like
bird?
Like all Amanda says is, then we'll meet. As they continued, not stopping at all, just not even stopping for a beat, just continuing forward.
Okay.
Okay, so you all don't want her to die, right?
No.
That's the
I'd
group
rather
consensus,
not.
right? Okay, then we should
Lula
go.
May's gonna kind of sigh and like hurry her pace a
I
little
think
bit.
I need then I'll just run before I finish my sentence to follow everyone.
Okay. So just to confirm, nobody opens the dungeon looking door, right?
You didn't I'll open it.
No,
mind, I'll open it.
Wait. Did we? Oh shoot! I'm sorry. I thought we had 6 and not 5.
Yeah. There's six doors.
Yeah, I don't know how to count. So
No worries.
throw open the
understand.
dungeon door and like shout in and be like, "What's this one? A tea party where you can only have a crumpet or a lemon wedge?"
As you open that door, I think you see Levi Lemon sitting cross-legged in the middle of the room with a crumpet and a teacup, and it just sort of shrugs at you. But then you see the rest of the room.
Empty?
It's not empty. It's actually an armory, much like the one that Wesley found in the last vault.
Can MJ see the armory?
Absolutely. There's some cool weapons.
Okay.
Basically, pick one magic item that you would like. It could be armor or gear or weapons. It doesn't have to be magic either. It could be like, a shotgun that shoots other shotguns, that type of thing. Pick one item like that for the finale next week from this room.
Okay. Lula May is gonna like shout out the hallway to Amanda, be like, "Amanda, turns out twice in 2 weeks or 2 days, my hubris is gonna get the better of me. You want to come in and see this? We're gonna kick some ass."
Okay, just because of that, but they come back in like, there's no meaning. Asses will be kicked.
She starts like shoving anything that looks to Amanda like just
Congratulations! Welcome to being an adult. Now you get to figure out what the fuck you're gonna live for.
Nothing.
Well, if that's the case, you're not gonna live very fucking long, and that's pretty boring.
Exactly. That is the answer.
That's bullshit, is what that is. That's not an answer.
Well, I needed a weapon and I'm getting one, so
I'm gonna grab some void grenades.
Nice. And also, don't feel like you have to be like put on the spot. You can choose over the next week whatever you want it to be. Just know that you all get something from here.
While we're ransacking this room, I'll turn to Al and just, is our cult this big a bummer as an outside observer?
Nah, you guys are actually like pretty awesome considering the cults I've run across.
Oh,
I mean, like, honestly, you should include a lot of the stuff Lula May's been adding to it because that'll keep you going for longer. But bring back some of the pillaging. Just you gotta leave certain areas alone and like make sure your local area is your allies. That's your biggest problem. Is you guys been raiding way too close to home. You need to raid further out.
Yeah, I think that comes from really the initial recruitment was just recruiting people that survived raids, so they had to do it close. But that's good. That's good advice, especially since Sleep Sai, I think, just stopped the raiding in general. There needs to be a good medium.
About that, Sleep Sai may be a bit different next time you meet them. I took him for an upgrade.
Good, we needed a new trash can in the kitchen.
No, like actually, the person who's doing it, she's smart as shit. I think she might know something about my sister.
So like a more like a competency upgrade instead of a lethality upgrade, because he's already pretty deadly, to be honest.
No, like so he doesn't kill all the Teds again by forgetting that they need to drink water that's untainted by coffee. Because even I know that.
Ooh, that gives me an idea. Raven, are you okay with there being a wooden common cup in this room?
Sure.
Good.
You said you heard a turkey?
Yeah, what was it about a chicken?
I mean, I don't think I'm the only one that heard the gobbling and then the quacking.
Honestly, I haven't heard much since I've been here today. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I've been listening to all y'all.
I've just been daydreaming.
Yes, I mean, I don't think that could be it. Maybe I have been known to hear things, but that the
Like
thing.
Little Bay's Lemon.
Yeah, I'm very
Yeah, I
interested
saw
to
it
hear more
too.
about that. That's
I saw it too.
how?
I just like. Okay, I got a bit of an upgrade recently. I have a new battery core that may or may not be powered by the glowy rocks that we found.
Lula May looks real guilty for like just a split second. Like,
Should I try one of these rocks?
Well,
It seems
Al
to be
pulls
a
out
fad.
one of the many crystals out of her pockets. I got like 20 of them in my pocket. You want one?
This seems like a fad with you, all of you.
What? I mean, I'm not having the weird shit like these guys are, but I can kind of like. She reaches towards MJ, and I'm going to yeet just a little bit into her.
The thing you would notice is
All
like
right.
Amanda is holding a simple but worn and very battered kind of clay cup that has a little bit of water in it. It appears.
Okay, cool.
Is that rock water, Amanda?
Um, so Al,
I rolled a
yeeting
16.
Okay,
I'm eating
energy
some
at
magic
MJ.
into MJ.
MJ, let me have you roll
Uh-oh.
discipline.
Okay. 16.
16. Okay. It's pretty much the same as what happened to Al, but it lasts a little bit longer. You see this little Levi Lemon from Lula May's Lemonade just walking next to Lula May with a half-eaten crumpet and a cup of tea, and it just looks up at you and kind of gives you this look like, wait, you can see me kind of a look, and then hides behind Lula May's legs.
Your limit has scared me, Lula May.
oh, she's gonna look down at Levi and be like, "Oh no, he's fine. He's a beloved, mascot within the, tier 3 sector of the food and beverage industry." And she's gonna like lean down and like pet it, like,
Yeah, I can do
"Aren't
like
you,
that.
Levi?"
Which is
This is
why
the-
I can tell how much fucking power is in this place. Like, holy fucking, it's basically, we need a battery the size of a sun to deal with the amount of magical power, or whatever you're gonna call it, magical crystal power. I don't know.
Two things. It's really weird seeing these invisible friends interactions from the other side of things. Just have to point that out if this is how I normally look.
Oh
And-
shit! I wonder. She reaches, and I'm gonna yoink from Wesley.
Roll magic engineering.
My 2 spells, yeet and yoink.
It
But a more important point.
12.
You try,
Is-
but don't get anything.
Is there any
fuck.
chance, like, the walls were purple and shit? Is there any chance that this whole thing is just like the whole vault is one big fucking power rock?
No, it's controlled.
Well, I mean, the power rocks aren't inherently uncontrolled. What we do with them isn't super controlled.
Well, I mean,
Wesley.
like, I'm not hallucinating on my own, like, just being powered by them. It's only when I'm, like, pull it from you people.
Wesley,
So-
roll education real quick.
Sure.
Just want to see if something might cross your mind.
That,
22?
that is the most thoughts Wesley can usually have.
It's true. So, 1 second. So, with that education roll, something does come to mind. You do remember that there is a distinct difference between Lyridium and Dark Lyridium.
Mhm.
That one seems to be more of like a corrupted form, and that perhaps regular Liridium could be processed to have different shapes and structures and forms. So it's possible that Liridium, the non-corrupted form, might be part of the structure.
Right, because it was the aliens or the ancient people that discriminated against the witches and insisted that they were all bad, made this thing, and then said no to the other kind of Liridium.
Yeah, more or less.
What kind is the one the crystal cannon made out of?
Dark Liridium.
The bad
Okay.
kind.
Yeah.
Everything we have is the bad kind.
Is there anything on the ground or stuff, like, say, metal shavings, random bullets, just something on the ground that you could pick up and put into a pocket?
Not really. It's all pretty much just like the weapons and items and things. There's no debris or anything like that. Also, I should note too, if any of you do try to take more than one thing, only one of them will follow you through the door. So if you grabbed 2 guns, one of them would disappear as you walk through the door.
Is there at least like dirt or sand on the ground?
Probably
Then
some...
That's what I want a
Dirt.
pocket full of.
Okay.
Pocket
That's probably dirt.
sand!
Yeah. It's probably dirt and sand that you all have tracked in, but yeah.
Do they have any of the other Liridium?
That could be your item if you would like.
Oh, okay. No, that's not going to work then. I meant like because I know they had a bunch of rocks in their pocket. I just couldn't remember what they had.
I just have a bunch.
Yeah.
I have a list of all the things that Al has stolen and put in her pocket since the beginning of game, and which things she's removed from her pockets. She still has 20 of those crystals from when we were in that crystal cave.
Raven, are these like random like weapons, or is it anything that is like related specifically to us? Do we get the sense that there's like, here's the Wesley pile, and here's the Amanda pile, and here's the Al pile? Like, is it something like that, or is it just like, here's all the stuff from the people who died here?
More the former. So it just looks like a room full of stuff, but whatever item you go for will be like the one item that seems to jump out at you.
Okay.
Because I had this idea that they could like infuse a weapon with the other Liridium, and then they'd have both Liridium weapons.
I gotcha. I mean, you definitely could do that if you can find some Liridium, but no, there's. I mean, you can find it here, but that would be your one item.
Okay. And the crystal cannon thing is a ranged weapon, right? If I use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And
Hey,
then,
Al, do you have any Liridium?
And like I said, feel free to take the week to decide what exactly it is you want from here. You don't have to decide right now.
Al digs in her pocket, pulls out one, throws it over to MJ.
And does that count as MJ's one item? Since Al gave it to her?
If it came from the vault, or not vault, but like armory, if it came from this room, then it's your one item. If it,
I don't know where she stole it from.
I was to say, if Al had it when she walked in, then.
Oh yeah, Al has had this for a while. It's got, it looks like a little bit of a sticky patch on it from like some molasses that has gotten like dust bunnies attached to it too. It's been in the bottom of her pocket for a while.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I kind of imagine, like, while everyone else has been doing their thing, Amanda's just been on the door, pulls out a tuning fork, and then plays a harmonica after it gets tuned, and just playing that in the background while everyone's figuring out things to grab.
Okay.
Do you have a bayonet?
Yeah. pretty much anything that you want, you'll find it here.
Okay, MJ's going to get that and work on hooking the light crystal up to it.
Okay. Like, meta aside, like in-game events, it seems as if whatever item you think of, you somehow suddenly find it.
Okay.
Like, as if this room kind of works that way, to where it gives you something useful specifically for you.
Lula May goes off to kind of like the pile that looks like it is there for Lula May. And she picks something up and she's just like pretty quiet and like just looking through the stuff after she picks something up.
Okay.
Al is kind of like going through like everything and everyone's piles until she stops. She seems to have found something, and she puts it in her pocket.
Okay.
Whose pile was it? I'm curious.
It was nobody's pile. It was just something in the back that looks like maybe it was a pile meant for like whatever like companion creatures were helping out.
Yeah. It could definitely have been a merc type pile for sure for what this item is, because I know what it is. But once you all find your items and leave the room, what do you do at that point? At this point, you can all faintly hear a turkey sound, a clucking chicken sound, and a duck quacking sound echoing from down the hallway.
Oh, that sounds foul.
Yeah, let's to the turducken we shall go.
I'm just making sure my crystal's hooked up. And
So who's got the stuffing?
I think we'll be doing the stuffing of their heads into their bodies.
You know, darling, I'm real glad you finished that sentence.
Yeah, because that's not how you stuff things. Especially not with your fist like that.
Yeah, just I'm glad the clarification was real helpful for me. You know, the old guts still feeling a little queasy from earlier. I'm just real glad that we're on the same page.
But you can't do that unless it's already been killed and you already cut it open. You can't do that before. You got to kill it. You push all the heads in.
Well, Amanda, it looks like you have a new purpose in life. You got to go and kill this thing.
Have you slaughtered a chicken before? Have you ever done it before?
I'm also curious to hear that answer.
So what was the question? Sorry.
Have you slaughtered a chicken before?
Oh.
I'm not going to say the full extent of that.
Oh, I thought you asked if Amanda has done this before.
Oh no!
Like, have you seen this creature before?
No, but I imagine you punch the head into the body. It's not going to be able to attack you with its mouth now, can it?
Well, I mean, hypothetically, if this, what if this was one creature with 3 heads, then the other 2 could still bite you.
Again, that's why there's
and no one would be responsible for its existence.
I would. Okay, you saying that sentence suggested you'd have some involvement with this.
No, that was a whole different vault. Don't worry about it. That this one wasn't me, probably.
Okay, so to some heads we shall punch,
or shoot, or cut off.
And inflict violence in some manner. All right, so I'm assuming you all head down this hallway towards the sound. And after a little ways of walking,
Al's going to use her sniper rifle as a long distance flashlight.
All right, it's actually decently lit. There's torches that seem to light up when the ones that you're standing next to run out of light. So your way is lit, but your long distance flashlight with the sniper rifle helps to look at the little shadows and nooks and crannies and make sure there's nothing coming around the corner and all that stuff. But eventually you reach a room that looks a lot like the room where you found the Dark Liridium. It's a giant open room with a second floor that is with a cutout in the middle. So it's more like a giant balcony that goes all the way around the room, with a couple of spiral staircases that go up to the top floor. The bottom floor is empty, except for one thing, which I'll describe in a moment. And then behind it is an archway that looks like a vault. Wesley, you recognize it as looking just like the vault that you went through before. Now, the one thing that is in the room that makes a loud clucking, quacking, and gobbling sound as it turns and notices you is a giant, its heads can reach the second floor from a standing position. A giant golden mechanical turducken with 3 heads, a chicken, a turkey, and a duck. Wesley instantly recognizes it as an abomination that he's summoned before, which is somehow present here.
This is disappointing.
Lula May is gonna look at it, and she's gonna look at Wes, and she's just gonna kind of be like, as if like to say, like, I don't even want to hear you tell me that you did not do this.
It's like you recognize the signature on my work.
Yeah, but there's more, by the way. So there is this giant golden mechanical turducken, but it seems a little bit different. It's got what looks like a couple of laser cannons on its shoulders, very powerful laser cannons. And there seems to be what you would swear looks like a wizard standing on its back. A very knowledgeable wizard. Al, you notice someone that looks a lot like that person that knows your sister, tied to one of the columns at the back of the room. Amanda.
Oh, fuck you, Raven.
You see this turducken as a 3-headed dragon with the head of a chicken, turkey, and a duck. Your perception of it is different than everybody else's. And then MJ, you just have this sense that everyone's life is in danger. And you have a keen awareness of where the exit is. No urging to do anything one way or another, but like those thoughts just spring to the front of your mind that everyone's life is in danger, and the only surefire way to make sure everyone survives is to leave. That just pops through your head. You don't have to act on it. It's just there. That is what you all see as you walk into the room, and that's where we're going to...
Do I also see the turducken, or do I just see the person?
No, you see everything. Amanda's the only one that just sees the turducken a little bit differently. But that's where we're going to end the session. So next week we'll have the finale, where we deal with this giant golden turducken, and assuming people survive that, maybe see what's inside this vault. Yeah, that was fantastic. We're going to go on a raid here shortly, but before we do, I want to give everybody a chance to talk about their favorite part, where we can find them online, and share anything else that they may be working on. Go in reverse order from the start. So let's start with Michael. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And all that good stuff.
Just before, I'd like to just add that, like, Amanda has this look of complete done with this thing, and then pulls out the wooden cup that had found and drinks it. It just goes, So we get to find out what happens with that cup next episode.
All right.
I'm Michael Wayne. You give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF. My personal favorite moment probably would have to be Lula May when figuring out the question. Like that was just like, to me, I found like the most interesting of them all. Of just like not going for an object or power, just knowledge. That's one of those things that always amazes me, because that's actually a lot of things I would choose if in that situation. And if I wasn't playing Amanda, that was totally be the one I'd go for, is knowledge. So that's why, like, that's my personal favorite. But everyone's like little answers and question was neat. Though, like, I feel like it's going to be very interesting to find out what happens with Amanda, because we still have yet to see their mortal enemy all dang season. So it'll be interesting. You can find me tomorrow on the Bardic Nox channel, sometime about 1 or 2 Central. It's when everyone actually shows up do we start. And on Friday, you can see me on Go JG, Go / the Undercast, and then JG on Friday, about 8 p.m. I believe, for Before the Spire Falls in their indie game spotlight this Friday evening. Remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
Fantastic. Next, we've got IC Historian. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
Oh man, first of all, you can find me here one more time on a week from today, and then on wherever I land for future seasons. Beef up that security there, folks. Let some filters go into those Google Forms casting call applications. And I think my favorite part, I think my favorite part for like me was Lula May getting her little like magic pick me up. I also like I'm always a sucker for like this episode in like the sci-fi show where it's like, and all of you must face a trial like that is tailored to who you are. And like, I'm always like a sucker for that, because that's always great. So like, good character development. I love the idea of Wes walking and be like, I will give you whatever you want. He's like, I would like a soda and maybe some fries, if that's cool. Like, I just like that whole difference
It's
of everything.
If that's cool, that makes it so very West.
Yeah,
if that's
I mean,
cool.
yeah. Show me what you desire. And he's like, I mean, I guess I'll say the thing that we both know that you want me to say. Oh, I'm done now. That's great. I just like the whole that whole piece of everyone. In terms of what I've got going on, may or may not be like publishing a thing at some point that I'm like really good at like hyping and talking about. So look out for that. Get excited. Tales of Novatropolis is the title so far, and it's on all of the pages of the document that I've been formatting for like 3 days, so it's probably not changing.
Fantastic. Here we go. Sorry, it's just grabbing our raid cry here. Fantastic. Next, let's hop over to Alex. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you want to share?
Gosh, I had many little like favorite parts and stuff. I gotta admit though, MJ's just like wonderful, delightful flusteredness that she gets, like when she's trying to like be serious about things, just like, oh, it's such a fucking chef's kiss. Also, I gotta give props to Raven, because I've been begging you all season to kick my ass with this awesome backstory I built. You're finally kicking my ass, Raven.
Yep.
Thank you. I asked for this. You can find me, my personal at Agent Boss on Twitter, and if you're looking for my art, I stream on Mondays, regularly at Can Chaos Art on Twitch and Can Chaos Art on Twitter as well for art that gets posted. You can find me next over on Pat's channel, Attack Trick, tomorrow night, where we are being Lancer pilots again, and I'm so looking forward because we're gonna get more of a character, or sorry, like narrative heavy episode because we just finished like an episode and a half of combat. Yeah, and then I'm may or may not be on Jay's channel on Thursdays. We've all been really, really tired lately. And then back here again on Saturday for Animus Absentis for the penultimate, finally. Well,
Fantastic.
Until next season because we refuse to let this game that game die.
There's so much story left to tell in that game. I'm so excited. Awesome. And yeah, I was very excited to have the chance to throw that little bit in there. I was like, oh, I've got the perfect solution for this. That's gonna be great next week. Pat, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you and all that other good stuff?
I think like everyone else, so much of it was so good. I really enjoyed everybody's interactions with whoever their embodiments of the vault were. Everybody having different ones. For whatever reason, MJ and the old man just cracked me up a lot. Yeah. Oh, and then the whole key puzzle at the beginning too was very good. Really loved that, and how many times our solution just came back to have we tried exploding the door yet? Yeah.
I gotta admit, having only 2 magic spells is kind of fun.
Yeah. Like was already said, you could catch me tomorrow on my channel for our Lancer campaign. Presumably all of us will get to do more character stuff. A couple of us were like left hanging on last week, getting like drawn into some gravity well or something. But yeah, I am sure we won't die in the first 5 minutes, so it'll be worth coming to see.
Fantastic. And then last but not least, MJ, or Nikki rather, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you want to share?
I liked all of it. What I saw, it's just a lot happened. It was all good. It's just a lot happened, and we got to learn stuff about the characters and see Lula May's lemon.
Okay, the fact that Allison can now pass people's hallucinations on to others.
I'm sure that will have no negative consequences.
No, not at all.
Awesome. Then where can we find you next?
Friday. Friday for school days on this channel.
Yeah, that's gonna be the penultimate for that show as well.
Yeah, I'm super sad because I've had so much fun this season, and I'm like, you guys are all great people to play with, like the best. And I'm like super sad that it's ending. I'm not gonna cry, but I'm like I'm really, really sad that it's ending. You guys I've loved this season. Thank you all.
We've got you coming back for the Zweihander game though next season, right?
Yes, and Star Wars game.
Oh, that's right.
Oh
that's right.
Man, you got onto Leland Zweihander game. You can have so much fun.
That's gonna be great. Fantastic. That just leaves me. My favorite part. It's hard to pick a favorite. I really enjoyed the reverse yeeting where Al ended up in a tree. That was fun. I enjoyed creating challenges that I knew would require you to think the opposite of how you normally handle problems in Calamity. That was really fun, and I loved how you all interacted with them. But definitely highlights are the yeeting at the door. MJ with the old man that was fun. That was a blast. And then all the stuff with Amanda at the beginning, where everybody's like, "No, don't try that on the door." And then Amanda's finding the answer in the book, with it being a little bit, probably different than Amanda was expecting. I'm really anxious to see what Amanda does with that knowledge next week. And then Wesley just being Wesley was always a delight. And seeing Lula May manic was hilarious.
Okay, but I have a weird feeling we're gonna end up on like a council of running this cult by the end of all this.
It's just going to be like a system-wide, organization by the end of all of everything.
I mean, the word council seems to imply that we'll have a collaborative decision-making structure, so we're gonna need to maybe sort of operationalize some of that vocabulary.
It can only improve Calamity.
I mean, Calamity can't get much worse. That's true. But anyways, it was all fantastic. You can find me next tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for Exodus, where I'll be playing Niklaus Sebastian Adama in the penultimate episode for this season of Exodus. I'm really looking forward to it. Niklaus is a villain, just not the villain of the story. And it's really fun because I don't think I've ever really played an evil character as a player character before. And I'm really enjoying the amounts of chaos that he brings. So definitely check that out. And then, of course, Friday we've got the penultimate for Neon Devils and School Days, and Saturday is Animus. You can also check me out on my Linktree, which is right there in chat. That's got links to my portfolio for all the art that I do. I do all the overlays and cover art for shows on this channel, and I do have commissions open on my Ko-fi, which is also in that Linktree. That is an example of... this way. That magnet right there is an example of one thing that I've made for this game. And then also a quick shout out to sponsors, which is Grinding Coffee Company. They just got their Kickstarter funded, fully funded. So I know yesterday they were doing buy one, get one 20% off. I'm not sure if that's still going on. But regardless, you can use the code RAVVYN to get 10% off your order. It's really good coffee. They just added a lot of new flavors, and they roast it right before they ship it out, so it's super ridiculously fresh. And then also Fundamental RPG, which is what this game runs on. Excuse me. Links for all of these things will be in chat. And Intrepid, which is my brand for real-life adventuring gear. And I just released a line of long-sleeve t-shirts, which have your classic tabletop, like D&D style, class names on them with different fonts that represent the class. It's really cool stuff. Check it out. Every purchase is extremely helpful. I greatly appreciate the support. And I think that is about it for things to cover before we head out. So we're going to go raid. I'm just going to make sure that they are still live. Twitch is doing the thing where I've got to refresh the screen. We're going to go raid probably We Are Nerdsmith, which is a fantastic channel. Definitely give them a follow if you're not doing so already. They're all great people over there. They do some really great content. So yeah, definitely follow them if you aren't doing so already. We've got our raid cry, which is Giant Golden Turducken. And as soon as Twitch finishes refreshing and I make sure that they are still live, we're going to head over. Okay, they are still live. So we're going to go say hi. Thank you again, everybody. Thanks, Michael, for the donation. Icy Historian as well for the bits. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.